Hello Aquarius friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Aquarius November Astrology Horoscope forecast. To try to encapsulate all of the many moving parts that will encompass your full astrological picture this month is really difficult to distill down into one sentence. But since you are in your last break from Pluto for 20 years, since Pluto has dialed back into Capricorn for the last time before it will be in Aquarius until 2044, I figure that's a theme that would be a good thing to bring in and let you know about. And then there are a lot of other more superficial types of transits, but that will definitely be in your face, will definitely be influencing the time that you have, the opportunities that you have. And even though they're faster moving, they're definitely going to be things that dominate your experience this month. This is for you if Aquarius is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Aquarius placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. If you're a very late Aquarius friend, late degree Aquarius friend, so birthdays like February 15th through the rest of the sign, or Aquarius degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Pisces report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. So I might bounce back and forth a bit, but in general, I'm going to do a building here, where basically the factors that are the shortest term, I'm going to start to bring them in, and then talk about some other things, weave in these longer term transits, the Mars retrograde, this Pluto thing, as we build this picture. So we'll look at the short-term influences, the long-term influences, all the things that will make this month be or it will turn out to be for you. My intention is to help equip you to have the best month possible. And so here we go. Podcast listeners, I'm putting the thumbnail as the chart that I'm using on the syndicated YouTube version. So if you want to watch me working on the chart, you can see the YouTube version of this. If you don't like to watch me working on the chart and you want the podcast version, you can search for me on any major podcast and then look for November 2024. Okay, so first thing to talk about is that we do have much fewer aspects this month, period. There's like a little checklist here of reasons why this month is going to be much more chill, much more relaxed, much easier, and much more in the flow specifically for Aquarius. So I'm going to give you that little checklist first. The first thing is that we are out of the heat of eclipse season. Check. September and October, Pisces eclipse, then Libra eclipse. Yes, that Libra eclipse was in a great angle for you, so hopefully you got goodies from that. But either way, change and drama and stress for you and people you know, are really happening very strongly during the heat of eclipse season. So we're just not in the heat of it anymore. And while you'll have news and information and integration into your new normal from whatever changes came, this is just much more relaxed. The feeling of having your finger stuck in an electric socket for an extended period of time, that will start to shift. Also, we just have less transits, period, or less aspects, period, this month. It's a less busy sky than we had in October. And although we do still have that annoying ratio, actually the fourth month in a row of having that annoying imbalance of sweet to salty, salty being where the planets aren't getting along in a good configuration and sweet being where they are, there aren't as many annoying aspects, period, this month, and the ratio is not as badly off. And we do have a lot of great aspects, including 7 sweet aspects, and I'll talk about a couple here, as well as talk about the notable moon placements. So basically just a lighter month all in all, less happening, and that is something to celebrate. Something else that adds to the chill factor of this month, which I'm very excited about, is that instead of Scorpio dominating this month, as it usually does, yes, we will still have Scorpio effects. The sun will be there for a few days. Mercury will be there, and we'll talk about what that means for you here in a minute. But what I wanted to talk about regarding our checklist is that this is actually going to be a Sagittarius-dominated month. Mercury will get there, will be retrograde in Sagittarius, Venus, Pallas Athena. This is going to be more of a Sag month than it is of a Scorpio month. And then Mars is also going into Leo, and that's a fire sign. So fire energy is good for Aquarius because fire and air are compatible. So lots of motivation, lots of inspiration. While we are going to be dipping deeper into the pre-transit of the Mars retrograde, which officially starts on December 6th, since October 7th, we've been diving deeper into Mars retrograde. So the way that fire can manifest is going to be interesting because some things will be slowing down, ambitions, people showing up, just general activity, but you could start to hyper focus and get obsessive about certain other things. And that's going to be in your opposing sign too. Okay, so we'll talk about that more later. But the point is that this is a fire frenzy, which is good for air. And that adds to the chill checklist because it's overall less emotional than September and October. It's overall less emotional than it would have been if we would have had a very Scorpio dominated month as we tend to have in November, which we're not going to. And then of course the sun will get into Sagittarius towards the end around November 23rd, and we'll just have a full on Sag party, which is excellent. So we've got, just a beautiful month in general, much easier, much more optimistic, much more, looking at the glass as half full and hopeful and exciting. And the Sag energies will light up your, friendship sector and your groups and your teams and your networks. So it's a really great time for socializing. It's a really great time to going back to things that you did before, going back to contacts if you need a job, which the Scorpio energies will be bringing focus to your career and work sector. And there could be, those make a square. So that could be a little bit of a challenged energy. That's not the dominating force. It could be happening, but your network can help you to get out of it. Your network can help you find a new job or new opportunities. Your network can help you find capital if you need it for your business. These kind of things, just deferring back to people you knew from the past, groups that you were with in the past, and the social element of your life is going to be very strongly pronounced. It's a very exciting time. It's a very busy time. It's a very interactive time. And, you're definitely going to be going 1,000 miles a minute. I don't want to gloss over this sun and for a little while longer Mercury energy in Scorpio or in your 10th house. So let's just go back to that before we move on. The sun is a giant spotlight and it lights up the things that we need to see. If you are in a dark room and you put a big spotlight on, you can see, period. Okay, that could be a good thing, right? You can just see better. It's more clear. You may see beautiful ways that the light hits the colors of the room, so you see everything that's great, but you also see everything that needs to be dealt with, like the cracking paint or the spider webs or whatever. So, you'll have a spotlight put on your relationships, Scorpio, your financial connections, Scorpio, and your work and career sector and parental figures, Capricorn. Okay. The person who is more the disciplinarian in your life is more represented by Capricorn. For some people, that's mom. Traditionally, this is a dad house, dad and father figures, authority figures, bosses, etc. But, wherever that discipline, that structure is coming in, doesn't matter what gender, it's that person. I see my mom who's, very earthy, often comes up in this 10th house. And you may find the same, that there are, those strong female figures may pop in. But, someone in your life may need help. You may need help from them. A close parental figure or a mentor, or you may be mentoring someone and you have some work and some concentrated, project or something to work on. And that is a discordant energy. This will be a little bit more emotional than you may want to deal with. But again, it's so much less than it would be if we didn't have those Sag energies. So I'm happy to report that because a lot of times November is a doozy for the air and the fire signs. And I'm a fire sign, so I get it. And so I'm celebrating with you. Okay, so I want to just give a little bit more of the retrograde story, talk about what that's bringing to the table, because everything that happens this month is under the cloak of a double retrograde energy. So let's talk first about Mercury, since that is the shorter term of the things that we're looking at. November 8th, we will start the pre-shadow period for Mercury retrograde. That shadow will deepen every day as we move towards the official retrograde, November 25th. So we've got the 8th, the 25th. Then it will last in retrograde until December 14th. And then the post-shadow transit period will last until January 3rd. So we're talking all in November and December, we're in the cloak of Mercury retrograde. This doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it is a thing that if you don't understand what's going on, you could use your energy in the wrong way. And the more you align with the natural rhythms of the universe, the easier time you'll have, which is why I always bring up where we're at in that rhythm in my reports, because this is one of my areas of expertise. tracking these things helps us to become more aligned with the natural rhythms of the universe, which makes life easier. Okay, so those are the dates for the November. And I may as well throw in the Mars dates while we're here, because Mars started its pre-shadow period around October 6th, October 7th. Yeah, October 7th. And then it will officially, so it goes deeper and deeper into its retrograde status until December 6th, when it officially goes retrograde. And then it will be retrograde until February 24th. And then the post-shadow period will last until into May. So we're talking a long retrograde cycle. So retrograde times are times for redo, reconsider, regenerate, go back to the past. It's perfect for like editing or clearing up your desk from the piles, going to see old friends, going to places you've been before, anything that basically has to do with, going backwards, inward and backwards. It's not a time to schedule. If you try to schedule things, okay, now granted, now you're going to say, I have to schedule things. Of course you do. But if there are things you don't have to schedule, don't do it. There are always going to be the things you can't get around, but there are also going to be the things that you can. And there are going to be the things that, knowing this, can be better because you can give someone a soft yes instead of a yes, yes. So basically, leaving yourself as unscheduled as possible will leave room for last minute magic. And last minute magic is one of my favorite parts of all retrogrades. In general, the retrogrades, whether it's Mercury or Mars, just this season, we got double of this energy now. This is just a time to reflect and reevaluate, to review and resolve past conflicts and negative patterns, to rest and rejuvenate, to revisit and redo things that worked before. And that's a really good way to use this energy, is if something you're doing now isn't working or you have to try something new, sometimes the new thing could be going back to the old thing. And of course, if it is a great time to experiment to something with low stakes that can be easily resolved if it doesn't work out. This is a time to not push if things are not flowing. If you're obsessed and things are flowing, then you can go with it. But the way to align with the natural rhythms are, if you're trying to push for something and it's not happening, then just stop. And that will be, that's kind of your cue of what you're supposed to be doing and what you're not supposed to be doing, is just with how the flow of energy is. Of course, if it's something that's required, you'll just have to push through it either way. But, these are just things to know. Other than focusing on outward ambitions, refocusing to inner work and reassessing your vitality and your health, and implement strategies that can restore your vibrance, because Mars rules those things. Okay, so I want to talk about the important moon dates this month, and then we'll go a little bit more into this Pluto thing. So the first thing to know is that November 1st, right at the beginning of the month, we've got the first notable moon, 9 degrees of Scorpio, new moon. And this is a new beginning in relationships. This is a new beginning in financial opportunities, wills, estates, sweepstakes, inheritances, a lot of energy there, loans, credit, taxes, etc. This can be new opportunities within just personal, intimate relationships. And this can be new opportunities in business and work and career, and with authority figures and all the other 10th house things too, because that's the place where the new moon happens for you. The next notable moon we have is on November 15th, and that is the full moon at 24 degrees of Taurus. Fullness, completion, fruition, drama coming in the days around November 15th. And this can have anything to do with Taurus energies, which is second house stuff, which is money and income and finances and expensive material items, your relationship with the earth, etc. And this can also have important effects on your home and family, because that full moon is going to happen in your home and housing and real estate sector. So elucidation, drama, accomplishment, manifestation in the area of home and family is very likely. Now, for some time zones, like New York time zone, Eastern time zone, and west of there, we will have a black moon in the days around November 30th, because we do have a new moon at 9 degrees of Sagittarius on that day. So those of you like in the other time zones to the east of that, Europe and such, you all won't have a black moon technically because this new moon in Sagittarius won't be till December 1st, but you all will have your black moon at the end, like December 30th-ish, because that will be the second new moon in December. So a black moon is the second new moon in a sign or a calendar month. Okay, so it's kind of split here, but I'm mentioning it because, you know, we are going to, in the days around November 30th, we're going to have a new moon in Sagittarius. So new opportunities for teaching and learning and travel and adventure and international business connections. Could also be for friendships and social circles and internet-based projects and social media, along with all that other Sag energy we have this month. Okay, so we'll move next to Pluto, but I also want to let you know that if you love the dates and if you want my sweet and salty dates and my favorite aspects of the month and the ones to be most awareful and careful of, go to anniehelpsyou.com. The link is in the notes underneath the video in the podcast, or you can type it in manually. When you put your name and email address in there and click receive, you'll get an email into your inbox, a welcome email, and then click on the archive link and then just put November 2024 astrology, and that will be the write-up. So if you sign up before I send that out, which is at the end of September, basically, then, you know, you'll get it into your inbox. If you sign up after, then you can find it in the archive link. Okay, so let's talk about Pluto and the significance of what the heck's going on here. From September 3rd through November 20th, Pluto's back in Capricorn. And that is the last time that Pluto is not going to be in Aquarius until 2044. Pluto is the behemoth. I mean, until Eris was discovered, she's our new behemoth. She's out even further and has more power than Pluto. But, you know, traditionally, well, I mean, I guess very traditionally, they didn't know about Pluto yet. But Pluto has been, you know, the long-standing biggest beast of the solar system for a long time. And it's very, very, very powerful. Rules the underworld, rules the 8th house, rules, you know, finances and emotions and resources, things that you have to dig to get, like gems and, you know, figurative gems and literal gems, you know, metals, precious metals that are under the earth, resources deep within yourself that you have to dig to get. All of that is the Plutonian realm, as is the shadow, our dark side. All of that is the Scorpio domain. And when Pluto is in your sign, going through your first house, crossing over your ascendant, which is your birth point from the cosmic soup into this form, it's a very profound time. So from 2024 to 2044, Pluto will move through Aquarius. Now, if you're a later degree Aquarius, you won't have your exact, you know, conjunctions until later. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by the transit very strongly for the whole time. The most important thing you need to know about a Pluto transit is that it has the theme grow or die. Sometimes this is literal. Like sometimes our lives get put on the line with Pluto transits where we have to learn something and get through something or we can't move on. Near-death experiences, you know, very, very challenging things, you know, death around us, all of that energy, or somebody almost dying, like death is brought into the picture, literally, but sometimes figuratively. And the phoenix rising from the ashes is the next story of this. Things die and then things grow and are born. Okay, so the topic of grow or die is going to be very critical for your first house, your physical body. So over the next 20 years, you getting into your relationship with yourself, you getting into understanding your physical body is going to be one of the most critical components here. This can also give you a massive amount of magnetism. Pluto on this line like this, Pluto in this house can make you more convincing to others. For 20 years, you may be better at sales. You may be better at marketing. You may be better at convincing other people that what you're doing, you know, hopefully I don't want any cult leaders growing from this advice. We definitely want you to be using your power in the way that you would want the karma to come back to you in that same way, right? Because it has a strong karmic component. With great power comes great responsibility, and having Pluto in your sign gives you great responsibility, but will also increase your power. If you are already on a self-destructive path, Pluto can deepen that. So that's why your relationship with yourself, your psyche, your psychological space, your, your spiritual space. Everything is going under the microscope over the next 20 years. And the more that you can consciously dive in, use resources for inner work, do healing, profound healing, the more you can get the positive end of this aspect, because you can completely use this as your own, nuclear power generator to have massive amounts of energy to put towards whatever you want. So, that's exciting, and there's a lot you can do there. And we'll be talking about this over the next 20 years of, me looking at your horoscope if, if I continue to do it over all that time. But right now, between, until November 20th, you still have a little bit of a break from it. Now, if you're a very early degree Aquarius, so birthdays, January born, maybe you might not get as much of a break, because if Pluto is sitting right on your placement, gosh, you're going to be really feeling that. But, just even the little reprieve of 1 degree dialing back sometimes is enough to catch your breath and be ready for the next lessons. There is a really great book called Healing Pluto Problems. And let me look at the author for you for that. That's by Donna Cunningham. And she dives into this whole Pluto thing. The more you can learn about Pluto, the more you can use this energy. So enjoy the break for the rest of this month and be prepared to have a massive amount of basically your own nuclear power plant to put towards anything you want, and figure out the ways that you can align with using your power in the best way to create the best karma for yourself with the power that is coming. Something about Pluto is that it tends to be relentless, but the more you're pushed and the more, this catalyst continues, the more you can accomplish. So the greatness that you can accomplish from this is just indescribable and uncountable, unquantifiable. Okay, so I've given you some dates to note for this month. If you want more dates because you want to see the sweet dates, the salty dates, when are the best days to do what? When are the best days to be awareful and careful of? Then go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address, and then click receive. And then you'll get into your inbox my welcome letter. In the archive, click on the archive link and put November 2024 astrology in the archive link, and that will bring you to my November write-up. Okay, so plus you'll get all kinds of goodies, and I'm always thinking of new ways to get goodies to my free VIP crew, which is what you become when you sign up there. You'll get my free 28-day, very comprehensive virtual coaching program for free. You'll get a Train Your Brain subliminal audio to relax and unwind to help you stay calm during tough astrological transits. You'll access my wonderland of astrology education to help you align with the natural rhythms of the month. I do send out monthly mini astrology lessons, and you do have access to all the archives as a member of my free VIP community. You also get access to my eclipse resource page to understand those cycles as they go through, and my health tips for the zodiac signs. So you just get so much. You can find it all in the welcome letter, so you can go there. Now on that same page, if you scroll down, you can access my secret star portal. This is where you will find my 2025 retrograde direct calendar for your planning, to know the open windows for next year, the times that will be much easier to push things out when the tides are going out. And if you want to learn astrology, I'm your girl. I've got a ton of free things. Obviously, if you're listening to my work, you see that I'm teaching for free online. But if you want a more structured system and you want to learn how to become a professional astrologer, either just to help yourself and your family and friends or to earn money, that is my area of expertise. I've been teaching astrology for 20 years. I've been a successful astrologer for 20 years. And also a successful online practitioner for a good bit of that time. And it all comes through in my Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. So you can click on Up Level there and see my basics course, or what you get that course for free when you join the Professional Astrology Certification course. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.